evening hours. From taking it slow to taking it sober, 'tis the season to help everyone reach their destination safely. Over the final few weeks of 2024, troopers with the Nebraska State Patrol will be across the state working overtime to keep holiday travel safe. The Nebraska State Patrol is teaming up with police agencies across the country in their Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign. The effort runs through January 1st. In 2024, troopers made 1,339 arrests so far for driving under the influence. That represents a 14% increase over the number of DUI arrests in 2023. And we finish in the courts, where a last-ditch court challenge to prevent Governor Jim Pillen from acknowledging and signing the results of two medical marijuana ballot initiatives was denied yesterday in Lancaster County Court. The lawsuit, filed by former state senator and anti-marijuana lobbyist John Keene, stated that Nebraska cannot legally have medical cannabis as long as it is federally illegal. Yet it was his second failed attempt at stopping the measure, which received overwhelming voter support this past November. Governor Pillen must sign a proclamation acknowledging all the 2024 election results by the end of today. It is coming up on 7:21. We'll swing things back over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's happening in sports?
Well, Brent Prince pumped in a game-high 19 points as the Nebraska women's basketball team beat Tarleton State 63-50 last night at Pinnacle Bank Arena. The Huskers won despite struggling through their worst shooting performance of the season, hitting only 17 of 57 field goal attempts. Nebraska did manage to knock down 7 of 22 three-pointers, including 3 by Prince, who added 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal on the night. Nebraska is now 9-1 in the season. They'll play host to Chattanooga coming up on Sunday. Tip-off of the game will be at noon. The Nebraska volleyball team will play Dayton tomorrow in the NCAA regional semifinals in Lincoln. The Huskers are 31-2 on the season after wins over Florida A&M and Miami last weekend. The Flyers are also 31-2 and advanced to the regional semifinals for the first time in program history after beating Baylor 3-2 in Waco, Texas last weekend. The first regional semifinal features number 7 Wisconsin against Texas A&M at 6 o'clock. Nebraska and Dayton will have first serve 30 minutes after the conclusion of that first match. The two winners will play in the regional final on Sunday at 2 on ABC. The 2025 Nebraska football schedule has been announced. The Huskers will open the season on August the 30th against Cincinnati at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Nebraska will play home games next year against Akron, Houston Christian, Michigan, Michigan State, Northwestern, USC, and Iowa. The Huskers' road games will be at Maryland, Minnesota, UCLA, and Penn State. The transfer portal is at Nebraska's tight end room. Nate Borkacher has entered the portal. The Aurora native will have 1 year of eligibility remaining. He joined Nebraska as a walk-on. He did have a scholarship offer to play for Division II Chadron State. Former Bellevue West wide receiver Isaiah McMorris is entering the transfer portal. McMorris saw 1 snap for the Huskers in the opener against UTEP and will have 4 years of eligibility remaining. His departure comes just 5 days after fellow receiver and past high school teammate Devon Hall exited the program. The move means that all 3 of those highly touted Bellevue West products who signed with the Huskers in the 2024 class are moving on. McMorris, Hall, and quarterback Danny Kalin. Freshman defensive lineman Keona Davis has had a change of heart. Davis is now returning to Nebraska after announcing his intention earlier this week that he was entering the transfer portal. Deron Hall scored a career-high 30 points, but the Hastings College men's basketball team lost to Concordia 101-82 last night in Seward. The Broncos trailed by just 8 at halftime, 48-40, but got outscored 53-42 in the second half. The Broncos hit nearly 51% of their field goals in the game, including 14 three-pointers, but Concordia hit nearly 55% of their field goals, including 16 three-pointers. Hastings is now 1-8 on the season. They're 0-5 in the conference. Hastings College women's basketball team nearly blew a 17-point third-quarter lead, but held on to beat Concordia 71-69 last night. McKenna Yates and Ann Bowes had 14 points apiece for the Broncos. Kernan Polk had 13. Macy Bryant had 12. Hastings is now 7-2 on the season, 4-2 in the conference. Both teams will play at Dordt on Saturday. Women's game will be at 2. The men to follow at 3:45. We'll have the action here on Extreme Sports, beginning with the pregame show at 1:45. That's a check on your sports headlines this morning. Now 7:24 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
On this Thursday, it'll be sunny but chilly. We'll have a high of 28 degrees with an east wind around 10 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, we'll have increasing clouds and overnight low of 12 degrees. Friday could be a tricky travel day, especially in the afternoon to evening. Chances for light freezing drizzle or freezing rain in parts of south central and eastern Nebraska. Friday, a high of 34 degrees. Friday night, an overnight low of 26. 38's the high on Saturday and 48 on Sunday.
Right now, we've got east winds 9 miles per hour, mostly cloudy, is 18 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
This holiday season, take control of your health and give the gift of wellness at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. From November 10th through December 31st, we're here to help you unwind, rejuvenate, and feel your best. Treat yourself or a loved one to our soothing massages, relaxing head spa scalp treatments, and luxurious Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing benefits of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Looking for an extra special gift? Our gift certificates are the perfect way to share the gift of wellness. Plus, become a member and enjoy 24-hour access to our exclusive therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members also save 20% on all services and 10% on products from our non-toxic retail shop. Give the gift of health, peace. Enjoy this holiday season only at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center.
Imagine a world where your office IT runs smoothly, securely, and effortlessly. A day where you aren't worried about the next outage or password compromise. At Hamilton, we take care of everything from monitoring and maintenance to security and support. We partner with your business to design integrated technology solutions that fit your needs now and your goals for the future. With on-site and remote IT support options, we're always just a call or click away. Elevate your IT with Hamilton Managed IT. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Extreme Sports has been bringing you the exclusive home of Hastings College Athletics, and we're just getting started. Thanks to our incredible sponsors and your support, Extreme Sports 2 has been a huge success, and now we're excited to announce the launch of Extreme Sports 3. With Extreme Sports 3, you'll get even more local sports coverage. Plus, 24/7 access to Sports by Line, where you'll hear the best in national sports talk. Whether it's Hastings College, high school action, or the latest from around the sports world, we've got it covered across all 3 streams. And don't forget, when we're not broadcasting games, join us weekday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for Huddle Up with Mike Will and Tyson Havronik. It's the perfect way to start your day with sports, news, weather, and great local interviews. So tune in, check out all 3 streams, and stay with us for even more sports coverage coming soon. Thank you to our sponsors for making it all possible, and to you, our listeners, for keeping Extreme Sports strong.
Again, you're listening to Huddle Up here today on Extreme Sports. Mike Will along with Tyson Havronik. I can see you now.
You can see me. Can you see clearly now?
Yeah. The cameras are on, so if you are watching us, hello. Good morning. If you're watching us, if you're watching us on Facebook Live or Twitch, you can now see us.
Been talking a little bit about the decision to keep the state softball tournament in the city of Hastings for the next 2 years, at least the first 3 rounds, championship rounds now being played at Bolin Stadium over at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln campus. Did get a few notes that I wanted to pass along from the press release that we got from the City of Hastings and Communications Director Tony Herman yesterday, saying that the Bill Smith Softball Complex facilities, hospitality for visiting teams and fans, as well as the overall community support, Hastings offers the best overall tournament experience, to which I agree with. The city doing the field maintenance for the tournament free of charge. Hastings Public Schools responsible for getting all the volunteers and tournament coordination before and during the tournament. And the overall city of Hastings for just embracing the tournament. And we did find out this, new scoreboards in the works for 2025. This in the lengthy past improvements to the Bill Smith Softball Complex, from extended backstops to lengthened dugouts to bullpens and an upgraded sound system. New scoreboards are in the works here for 2025. So again, if you're just joining us, hats off, the NSAA awarding Hastings another 2 years on the contract and on the bid to host the state softball tournament, at least for the first 3 rounds. A system that I think, when you take a look at it, Mike, that works extremely well. And
yeah, I was just going to say I didn't like it initially when that it came out a couple of years ago, but now that I've gone through it and got to go to Omaha last year with the Tigers playing in the state championship game, I really enjoyed the championship setting. So now I'm back on the other side of the fence. I like this proposal now.
Yeah, and I was with you when they first came out, and I think maybe a lot of my initial animosity towards the ruling was based on the fact that I just thought it was a step towards Papillion or the metro area getting the entire thing. I thought that was going to be just basically a trial run and saying, see, the metro should host. But all told, Hastings has done a miraculous job with the first 3 rounds, and I think the NSAA realizes that, and they realize all that we have from a community standpoint. When you have an entire community working together to make an event as special and as big as it is, I think they take that into account. So it's a hats off to everybody that's involved with that tournament, that has worked hard and fought to keep it here. And I'm just so proud and so happy for all those folks today.
Again, Hastings will have it for the next 2 years, and the championship games, instead of being played at Omaha, will be played in Lincoln. So if you're just waking up, that's the latest news on that. Some coaching news today. Bill Belichick is officially in. 6-time Super Bowl winning coach Bill Belichick has been named the head coach at North Carolina. This will be his first ever collegiate coaching job. He spent his entire career in the NFL, and now he's going to take over at North Carolina. Another name that popped up this morning, former West Virginia head coach Rich Rodriguez is finalizing a deal to return to the Mountaineers. So a couple of coaching moves yesterday would kind of raise a few eyebrows. Bill Belichick, the head coach in North Carolina, and Rich Rodriguez looks like he's going to be returning to coach the West Virginia Mountaineers.
Yeah, and I'm on the fence on this whole Belichick thing. I get that he's going to run it like an NFL program, that he is going to kind of make some changes, not just with the football team and the product you see on the field, but I think internally over there at North Carolina, and make it a pathway to be successful. But on the other hand, I'm with you. I think this is Bill Belichick saying, yes, I'll agree to coach for a couple years to ensure that his son has a pathway to continue in the coaching ranks. That's what it looks like, at least from the outside perspective. Not having any conversations with Bill, obviously, because he's so good with the media, but also not really caring that much about North Carolina football to be that heavily invested. It's a strange move for me. And I think just seeing Bill Belichick on a college football sideline is sort of like a Twilight Zone style universe for me. It was one of those things, I think, when he rode off into the sunset with all his Super Bowl rings, on my bingo card was not Bill Belichick returns and is now a college football coach. it's still a strange one for me.
Yeah, he was involved with TV, but that didn't last very long either. And now he's the head coach in North Carolina. Again, we talked about it yesterday. He presented North Carolina officials like a 400-page outline, and I don't know if they were all demands or he was just laying out how he was going to run the program. They said, "Yep, that's good enough for us." They signed him to a 5-year deal yesterday. Also, Tony White, the former Nebraska defensive coordinator who took the job at Florida State, he had his introductory news conference yesterday down at Florida State.
You talk about Florida State, you talk about one of the true great historic football programs. And then obviously what just happened in a couple of years ago, them giving themselves a chance to be in the mix for a national championship, and so again, that you take the area and the young men that you're able to recruit down here. I think some of the best football players in the country are from this area regionally, and then just the way coaches put stuff together down here. I think that this is truly a place. I walked through the building, and me and T. Knight and Coach Coop were walking through, and I read off the ACC championships, and it was unbelievable. I mean, it was like 93, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I was just going off, and I'm like, that is truly something different, and so just the ability to be down here, be able to recruit the talent we're recruiting down here, the way Coach Norvell has put together this staff, and the way he's been shown to do things, the success that Florida State has had in the past and just recently. I think this is a place that will do it all again.
Again, that's Tony White leaving Nebraska to take over as the defensive coordinator at Florida State, taking along Terrence Knight as his defensive line coach. So a couple of former Huskers now on the staff at Florida State.
There you go. Been rattling off all those ACC championships that they won in the early to mid-'90s. Did he happen to take a look and walk down the Big 8 championship wall for Nebraska in the early '90s and the middle '90s as well? When we were dominating the Big 8, I just noticed the comparison. Both teams had lots of success in the conference ranks. So, but anyways, best of luck to him. I think that again, that move was anticipated. I don't think anybody was anticipating Coach White to stick around here. I thought maybe a head coaching venture, but he's in a spot where I think he can have some success and help a program get back to their feet, so to speak. So best of luck to Coach White as he moves on in his ventures.
Yeah, Scott Frost was named the head coach down at Central Florida on Sunday. Now we see 22 players from Central Florida have hit the transfer portal. They might not think too highly of Scott, not as much as some people do. But anyway, 22 players have hit the transfer portal at Central Florida. Not as bad as the Marshall football team. They're going to be playing in the Independence Bowl on December the 28th as they'll take on Army in the Independence Bowl. But a lot of the players from Marshall have moved into the transfer portal. In fact, they say most of the players have moved into the transfer portal. I don't know what most means. They certainly still have a football team because they're going to be playing at in Independence Bowl coming up on December the 28th. But their head coach has quit and moved on. He's going to be taking over Southern Miss. So he's moving from Marshall to a Southern Miss, and evidently a lot of the guys have moved into the transfer portal, and they expect them all to head to Southern Miss, much like what happened with Indiana.
Indiana, James Madison.
Yep, James Madison. All those players moved from James Madison to Indiana, and we all know what happened. They went on to an 11-1 campaign in 2024, making the college football playoff. The Hoosiers, the number 10 seed, going to take on Notre Dame in the first round next weekend, December 21st. But, it looks like a lot of the players from Marshall are moving on to Southern Miss. So if you circled Marshall in those bowl pools, you might want to reconsider.
Well, you'd want to reconsider anyway because they're going up against a pretty dang good Army team as well. Army was already in my top 5 confidence points moving up to that game. I'm going to give you a little sneak peek on that bowl. But you go from Marshall to Southern Miss. That's a job downgrade.
You think?
Marshall is in a better spot from a program standpoint, historically, traditionally, prestige, even stadium atmosphere than Hattiesburg, Mississippi. The only claim to fame that Southern Miss has, other than getting blown out by literally everybody they played over the course of the last 20 years, is quarterback Brett Favre. Brett Favre went there, and that put Southern Miss on the map. But Marshall's a better job. He took a job downgrade, and so unless he's like from the Mississippi area, or if that's home for him, or if he has maybe just a destiny awaiting to raise Southern Miss to a newfound glory, that's a job downgrade in my book. I would not have taken that job, and I certainly wouldn't transfer out of the Thundering Herd to go transfer to play for the Golden Eagles.
Charles Huff is the guy's name. Marshall head coach Charles Huff. And the information I got, basically the entire Marshall football program is entering the NCAA transfer portal.
That smells of something stinky in Marshall right now from the administration that they might need to take a look into. Most of the team. So is it like open tryouts to go play Army in a bowl game?
It says basically the entire Marshall football program.
This could be like a 30 for 30 coming up.
What's going to happen on December the 28th in the Independence Bowl? You've got like the walk-ons, if there's any walk-ons left at Marshall. Fourth stringers, maybe the third stringers that are hanging around.
I mean, I still got some college eligibility left, but I don't know if I can run very fast.
That's probably not a game I'm going to be tuning into. Marshall and Army on December the 28th. So that's some news coming out of the bowl series here today.
Yikes.
The Nebraska women's basketball team, they were in action last night. We told you that they struggled shooting the basketball last night against Tarleton State. Team out of Texas. Huskers beat them by a score of 63-50 last night. Head coach Amy Williams, after the game, was happy with the win.
We're excited to have another win. We are thankful and grateful to our amazing fans for coming out to support us and having another great crowd out here tonight. It wasn't the prettiest game that we've played all year. We give credit to Tarleton State. I thought they came in and put a lot of pressure and heat on particularly our point guards, but did some things defensively to take us a little out of rhythm. And it wasn't our best game, and we still found a way to win.
And we asked the coach what type of things did Tarleton State do to take the Huskers out of their rhythm in the game.
Part of it was just, we had really wanted to make sure that every time we got a rebound or every time we had to take the ball out of bounds after a made basket, that we had 3 outlet passes available, because we knew that they were going to have one kind of defender that picked us up in the backcourt and just was trying to work the point guard. So we wanted to give multiple options to be able to get the ball in so we could continue to play with pace. But I didn't think we did that on a consistent basis, and that allowed their kind of pressing defender to really cause some havoc and just slow down our pace.
Huskers did force 21 turnovers in the ball game last night.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed. I didn't think our transition defense was as good as it needed to be. There were a couple times where we kind of didn't get matched to the right assignments that we wanted to, and it led to a few too many made 3-point field goals for Tarleton State. But I think there were some possessions where we had the best defense we've seen out of our team, where we were really on the same page with ball screens and being aggressive when we were supposed to switch, being aggressive when we were supposed to hedge, helping from the right people. There were a couple shot clock violations. There were a couple turnovers forced, just some active hands. So there was some really good things, but it was almost like penthouse or outhouse a little bit on the defense.
Again, that's Husker head coach Amy Williams following their victory last night, 63-50 over Tarleton State. Nebraska now 9-1 in the season. They're going to play host to Chattanooga coming up on Sunday. Good old Chattanooga going to be in town. Tip-off will be at 12 o'clock noon at PBA on Sunday.
The Mocs, the home of Terrell Owens, went to a school there.
You actually knew the nickname for Chattanooga, the Mocs?
Well, they were previously the Moccasins, and now they're the Mocs.
God, the Moccasins.
Mm-hmm.
Just got a word that according to the Miami Herald, FBI has linked a South American crime ring to the recent burglaries of the homes of Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and the two NBA players that we talked about earlier. So that's kind of breaking news here today.
Yeah, there you go.
So the FBI is honing in on a crime ring, a South American crime ring, who's been breaking into some homes of some star players while they play elsewhere. So anyway, that's some news.
Yeah, you get the FBI on you, like you done screwed up, you know. like
if the
you
FBI
should have stopped at 3.
Yeah, if the FBI is knocking at your door, chances are you're in deep hoo-hoo.
You done screwed up, man. Like, no, we could have stopped at 3. We made our bank, but let's try for 4. No, let's get 5. Let's get Burrow on Monday too, and that will alert the presence of the FBI. And like you said it. Like I was shocked to hear the number of athletes. I heard 1 or 2. I knew the Mahomes deal, but I hadn't paid much attention on the NBA side of things. Didn't realize that was going on. So, yeah, crazy stuff. Now the South American crime ring doing some burglaries of some players, and the FBI is honing in. And once they hone in, it's not going to take very long.
No, they're done. They're toast.
Good night.
They're toast. Yeah, it'd be problem would be solved by just updating your security system at home. Mm-hmm. It's just common sense, folks. It's a 7:44. We've got Hastings College basketball coming your way again on Saturday. The Broncos last night splitting a couple of games in Seward against Concordia. The women won last night, held on to beat Concordia by 2. The men were in the ball game a lot of the way. They trailed by 8 at halftime. They ended up losing their game to Concordia last night. Now we move on. We'll play in Sioux Center, Iowa, and it never fails. It never fails. Every winter when we go to Dort, we have to deal with weather issues.
Yeah, Friday.
And it looks like it's going to be the story tomorrow. So we're going to take a second look at our broadcast schedule for the weekend. We'll let you know about high school basketball on Friday night. We may be traveling Friday.
Okay.
It's the word I got recently, so we might be traveling Friday. So we'll let you know about our Friday night basketball schedule. We had Hastings High and Lincoln Northwest, but might have to boot that one. Might have to boot that one and get on the road early tomorrow and try to beat the weather to beautiful Sioux Center, Iowa. But we'll let you know about that later on.
Certainly wouldn't blame you for taking an extra travel day to make sure you get to your destination safely. Like we said yesterday on the show, and a little PSA: when it snows, take it slow. So get that extra day of travel in there, and make sure you get up safely. But yeah, it just seems like there's certain events that you can almost put on the calendar, right? Like that Mother Nature is going to do something. Whether that be going to Sioux Center, Iowa for the basketball season, or whether you get the opening round of the state basketball tournament and you're trying to get to the capital city, there's going to be some weather-related event around these times, and it never fails. You're dead on.
When it snows, slow down.
When it snows, take it slow.
I'll take it slow.
If snow, take it slow. You could use any combination. As long as you rhyme slow and snow.
Yeah, we're supposed to have a mixture of snow and maybe some rain and some freezing drizzle all tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night, lingering into Saturday. So,
are you on my bandwagon? You would rather have 2 feet of snow than an inch of that freezing drizzle crap?
Yeah, I don't like driving 4.5 hours on ice.
Yeah, it's not fun.
I don't know if my health would put up with that. Yeah. I can drive on ice for a while, but God, 4.5 hours is a long time.
I can drive on ice for a while, and then I see everyone like driving on ice around me, and then I just start praying.
And then I see the semis go around me. I'm traveling 40, and they're traveling like 70. Mm-hmm. That really concerns me.
Yep.
So yeah,
on ice.
Yeah, I'd rather take a little bit of snow. Mm-hmm. I'm not an ice guy. So anyway, we're going to have to deal with that maybe tomorrow. So be advised if you got some of the travel plans that you might want to change those for the Friday and Saturday period. Anyway, you're waking up with Mike and Tyson. If you'd like to chime in on anything we've talked about here this morning, we've talked about a lot. Leave us a message on Facebook Live. You can give us a call. Certainly, we got time to still talk to you at 402-834-1330 is our telephone number. It's 7:48 now on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Local news this hour brought to you in part by the Hastings Federal Credit Union, lighting the way to financial success since 1946. Hastings Federal Credit Union is proud to be your trusted long-term financial partner. As a nonprofit financial cooperative, the credit union is owned by the members who join, and joining the credit union is as simple as opening a primary savings account. You can access your accounts wherever you go with mobile banking, bringing you financial peace of mind straight from the palm of your hand, where you can securely and conveniently manage your accounts and loans at any time from anywhere. You can transfer funds, deposit checks, pay bills with bill pay, and quickly access your account balances to help cover whatever little curveballs life throws your way with mobile banking today. One of the many ways you can experience the credit union difference. That's Hastings Federal Credit Union, 707 North Marion Road, or online at hastingsfcu.org. Hastings Federal Credit Union is an equal housing lender. Well, we talked about the weather issues that are going to be going on from tomorrow afternoon into the evening hours. According to Mike Moritz with the Hastings National Weather Service, not a major storm, but certainly one worthy of planning a few extra travel minutes for games, activities, bus routes into the evening hours. Any snow should not be as heavy as the snow shower that moved through on Tuesday evening. The precipitation should move out of the area by Saturday morning. Most impactful time from Friday afternoon rush into the evening hours. From taking it slow to taking it sober, 'tis the season to help everyone reach their destination safely. And over the final weekend, over the final few weeks of 2024, troopers with the Nebraska State Patrol will be across the state working to keep holiday travel safe. The Nebraska State Patrol teaming up with police agencies across the country for the Drive Sober, Get Pulled Over campaign. The effort running through January 1st. In 2024 thus far, troopers have made 1,339 arrests for driving under the influence. That's a 14% increase over the number of DUI arrests in 2023. A last-ditch court challenge to prevent Governor Jim Pillen from acknowledging and signing the results of 2 medical marijuana ballot initiatives was denied yesterday in Lancaster County Court. The lawsuit, filed by former state senator and anti-marijuana lobbyist John Keane, stated that Nebraska could not legally have medical cannabis as long as it is federally illegal. It was his second failed attempt at stopping the measure, which received overwhelming voter support this past November. Governor Pillen must sign a proclamation acknowledging all of the 2024 election results as official by the end of today. It is 7:51. We'll swing things back over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's happening in sports?
So we can smoke pot now if my elbow hurts?
Medical marijuana. It'll be pretty strict, my guess is, because the state is going to have to create essentially the rules, and they're going to have a cannabis commission. And so they're going to create some rules, and odds are it'll be a pretty strict set of rules. So I don't think it'll be like, oh, I've got some knee pain or back pain, give me some pot. I think you're going to have a little bit higher medical condition than that.
All right, in sports, Brent Prince pumped in a game-high 19 points as the Nebraska women's basketball team beat Tarleton State 63-50 last night at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Huskers won despite struggling through their worst shooting performance of the season, hitting only 17 of 57 field goal attempts. Nebraska did manage to knock down 7 of 22 three-pointers, including 3 by Prince, who added 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal on the night. Nebraska is now 9-1 on the season. They'll play host to Chattanooga coming up on Sunday. Tip-off will be at noon. The Nebraska volleyball team will play Dayton tomorrow in the NCAA regional semifinals in Lincoln. Huskers are 31-2 on the season after wins over Florida A&M and Miami last weekend. The Flyers are also 31-2 and advanced to the regional semifinals for the first time in program history after beating Baylor 3-2 in Waco, Texas last weekend. The first regional semifinal features number 7 Wisconsin against Texas A&M. That game gets underway at 6. The Nebraska-Dayton game will have first serve 30 minutes after the conclusion of that first match. The two winners will play in the regional final on Sunday at 2, and you'll be able to see it on ABC. The 2025 Nebraska football schedule has been announced. The Huskers will open the season on August the 30th against Cincinnati at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Nebraska will play home games against Akron, Houston Christian, Michigan, Michigan State, Northwestern, USC, and Iowa. The Huskers' road games next year will be at Maryland, Minnesota, UCLA, and Penn State. Transfer portal has hit the Nebraska tight end room. Nate Borkacher has entered the portal. The Aurora native will have 1 year of eligibility remaining. Former Bellevue West wide receiver Isaiah McMorris is entering the transfer portal. He saw 1 snap with the Huskers in the opener against UTEP. He'll have 4 years of eligibility remaining. His departure comes just 5 days after fellow receiver and past high school teammate Devon Hall exited the program. That means that the 3 highly touted Bellevue West products that signed with the Huskers in the 2024 class are all moving on. McMorris, Hall, and quarterback Danny Kalin. A freshman defensive lineman, Keona Davis, has had a change of heart. He is now returning to Nebraska after announcing his intention to enter the transfer portal earlier this week. College basketball last night, Deron Hall scored a career-high 30 points. But the Hastings College men's basketball team lost to Concordia 101-82 last night in Seward. Hastings College women's team nearly blew a 17-point third-quarter lead. They held on to beat Concordia 71-69 last night. Both the Hastings College men and women will play in Sioux Center, Iowa on Saturday against the Dordt Defenders. Pre-game show 1:45 tomorrow here on Saturday. 1:45 on Saturday. Pre-game show 2:00 tip-off for the women's game. 3:45 for the guys. 7:55 now on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
On this Thursday, it'll be sunny but chilly. We'll have a high of 28 degrees with an east wind around 10 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, we'll have increasing clouds and overnight low of 12 degrees. Friday could be a tricky travel day, especially in the afternoon to evening. Chances for light freezing drizzle or freezing rain in parts of south central and eastern Nebraska. Friday, a high of 34 degrees. Friday night, an overnight low of 26. 38's the high on Saturday and 48 on Sunday.
East winds this morning at 9 miles per hour. It's 18 degrees at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
Mike Will, Giants and Nirvana, huddle up here on Extreme Sports on this Thursday. We mentioned volleyball going to be playing tomorrow in Lincoln. The Nebraska men's basketball team is also going to be playing a game tomorrow night. The Huskers will be at PBA, and you have volleyball over at the Devaney Sports Center. So it's going to be a wild time in the city of Lincoln tomorrow night. Huskers will take on the Indiana Hoosiers in the Big Ten conference game tomorrow, and head coach Fred Hoiberg was before us yesterday. He says Indiana is a team that can stress you in a lot of different ways.
Well, one, they're playing the best that they have, the 4 wins that they have in a row now, and I thought they were phenomenal against Minnesota the other night on both ends of the floor. And they finished off that tournament in the Bahamas with a win over Providence, where I thought they were really good. So They're coming off, I think, their best performance of the season. And, the physicality, the toughness, there's going to be a lot of the same things that stressed us going into the Michigan State game, starting in transition with their big, because they do as good a job as anybody of throwing the ball over the top to Renew and to Ballo in transition. They're phenomenal at that. They're shooting the ball well. Carlisle being healthy is huge for them. I thought he was great in their game the other night. He adds a on-ball pressure element to that team, and I know that's how Woody likes to play. So there's a lot of stressors. I think Galloway is playing really good, and he's shooting the ball well right now. We know how tough he is when he gets downhill to his right hand. So, you just have to go out there and limit him and hopefully follow the game plan. It's going to take a 40-minute effort and hopefully give ourselves a chance.
And the coach knows how important these home games are. Nebraska was undefeated at home last year in the Big Ten Conference.
Yeah, and you talk about how hard it is to win on the road in this league, and obviously we experienced that on Saturday, and we have played, just so you know, we've played all 6 years I've been here. We've started on the road, which that's also not right. It'd be great to start at home and, hopefully get a little momentum, going into the rest of the schedule. So, I didn't realize that until after the game, and I did let the schedulers know about that. So yes, it's important. You have to come out. I know there's 2 great events in Lincoln on Friday night, and, couldn't be more excited about how the volleyball team is playing, and for John, and, how well that team is playing right now as they pursue their 6th national championship. So I know there's 2 great events in town on Friday. I hope we get a great crowd, and I think we will. And I know volleyball is going to be sold out. So, it's an exciting time, for us starting home. We get 10 of these opportunities. And, again, hopefully go out and give our fans something to cheer about.
Again, the Husker men's basketball team will play tomorrow night against Indiana. That's a PBA. So, wanted to sneak those in. Yep, there'll be a lot of action in Lincoln tomorrow night.
Yep. So we got the Huskers on Fox, and the Husker volleyball team getting set for their Sweet 16 matchup. Should be like Hoiberg said, party in Lincoln coming up on Friday.
All right, so that's what's going on. Hopefully we covered everything today. I think we did.
I don't have any more stones to turn.
I'm just checking my notes to make sure I got everything in that I wanted to talk about today. I'll start it off with the softball tournament coming back to Hastings. Yep. We've talked about the transfer portal. We've talked about Husker basketball. We've talked about Bronco basketball and travel plans. We've talked to weather. I think we've just about covered everything. What's on the TV menu tonight? Anything good?
TV guide, we've got a top 25 matchup, the Cy-Hawk Trophy. On the basketball side of things, Iowa and Iowa State are getting set to duel. And then it's, I think, Rams and 49ers tonight. Is that right, in the NFC West? On Prime?
I think so. I'm just thinking, this is Thursday. We should have an NFL game somewhere.
Yeah. On Prime, I think Rams and Niners. Rams coming off their big win against the Buffalo Bills and try to keep momentum going strong against a team without a running back that you bet against this past weekend that didn't do very well for you. So we'll see if the LA Lambs can keep it hot.
Tomorrow we'll have our Blazing 5 picks here on Extreme Sports. Tyson and I will kick off our bowl pool as there'll be some bowl games coming up this weekend. You know what I'll be doing most of the day today? A little research on filling out my sheet.
Getting it sent off into the mail. Make sure it's postmarked by today.
Is it going to be in by today?
I think tomorrow.
I was going to say.
The deadline. Yep.
I was going to say, I'm not going to have time to do it if it's today.
Mine's all ready to roll.
All right, so we'll get back together again at 7 tomorrow morning. If you'd like to listen to this show again, you can. Just go to Roku, your Roku app. You'll find us there on Roku and click on our Huddle Up page, and you'll be able to listen to the show in its entirety once again for you to enjoy at your leisure. So thanks for joining us here on Huddle Up today. We'll see you again tomorrow morning.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports.